friends. Myself Dr. Prasad, a medical doctor from Kerala. I am informed that the Indian Public Service Employees Federation, the IPSF, is demanding the strengthening of the public healthcare system, which is a very much relevant and very much needed slogan in the present condition in the backdrop of the existing COVID-19 pandemic situation. Further, I have heard that they are taking up a series of programs in order to pressurize the demand. Not only in India, but in all countries where the policies of neoliberalism were implemented in healthcare, depending on its degree, the people's life has become further bitter. The approach of neoliberalism considers that the market will solve all the problems, but the COVID-19 pandemic proves that the market may not solve the problems at all. On the other hand, the markets may create hindrance in front of developing any meaningful solution to certain calamities. The advanced capitalist countries like Europe and America proved it. Today, India is also proving that. From 1990 onwards, many of these countries, including India, were trying to continuously malign and destroy the existing healthcare delivery system in the government sector in order to privatize that. After liberalization, the public spending on health in India declined from 1.3% of the GDP in 1990 to 0.9% in 1999. In history, the existing government-funded healthcare system worldwide evolved in the backdrop of two conditions. Either this was a response to some calamities or was a response of the organized workers' movement. Mostly worldwide government-funded healthcare system emerged in the post-Second World War period. As you know, the Second World War has caused such a large number of injured people as well as many types of infections and associated illnesses spreading that no private system could handle it. Also, there was development of powerful workers' movements throughout the world in that situation. The Indian freedom movement also took place during that time. Naturally, it has become a very popular slogan in India also to develop a government-funded healthcare delivery system. But today, even in advanced economy like the United States, many people don't have even the money for treatment, because in America the budget is high, but the private hospitals mainly run, and for the middle class population there is an insurance system that is in operation. But what happens is that if a patient goes to the hospital with an illness, the doctor as well as the hospital has to first evaluate the monetary condition of the patient, not the illness. They have to evaluate the insurance policy, the coverage, how much money they will get, as well as how much they can get from the patient's own pockets. So what happens is that for a patient with COVID-19, an average patient has to spend 35 to 40 lakhs in rupee terms in US. So this is the ultimate result of making the entire healthcare system subservient to the market. Even if the head of the state, say the prime minister or the president, wants to save the population out of humanitarian consideration from a pandemic, but they cannot help it. Why? Because here the system that is working, the long chain of hospitals as well as the pharmaceutical companies, they work on profit basis. So they work primarily for their profit. Naturally, that will increase the cost of the treatment exorbitantly. So what happens is that a large number of the people doesn't treat at all. They will not go to the hospital at all. On the other hand, the IPSF also demands that the healthcare must be provided to all free of cost, funded by public revenue. Charging the healthcare does not only hurt those directly affected, but it puts all of us at risk. Take the example of COVID-19 pandemic. Is it that some people out of having no money elopes treatment? Is it that the disease will not spread to others? They are not going for isolation. They are going secretly for doing job. Is it that they will not spread to other people? So the present condition is making everybody at risk. Worldwide, 3 people every second are pushed to extreme poverty from paying for healthcare. And in several countries, including India, the hospital wards are just like a prison for the patients because they have to pay an exorbitant bill to get discharged from the hospital. So what happens is that their relatives or family members have to go to their villages, sell their landed property or take money, a big loan from a money lender, and come back to get a discharge. So this is the condition. If I quote from Ban Ki-moon, former UN Secretary General, as in January just before the explosion of the present pandemic, what he said is, out-of-pocket health spending has been rising, meaning that more people are being impoverished because of health costs. This not only undermines achieving universal health care, it's also a threat to global health security. High private health spending also inhibits progress towards other sustainable development goals, including eliminating poverty, reducing inequality, and achieving gender equality. The poor condition of healthcare in our country, India, is well known. The health infrastructure is in a very broken down condition in the villages. Government hospitals often fail to provide necessary health service to the poor, with the private hospitals being out of reach of the most of the people. India ranks high in the list of most ill nations. On an average, every fifth patient in the world is an Indian. According to the Global Burden of Disease study, India ranked low in the healthcare index. India stands at a rank of 154 out of 194 countries. In 1946, just during the time of the independence, the Health Survey and Development Committee, headed by Sir Joseph William Bohr, was formed to chart a course for public health investments and infrastructure in India. The committee advocated free health services to all citizens by the state. It recommended that the government must take at least one primary health center for every 40,000 people. The committee also recommended a 75-bedded hospital for every 1 lakh population. Further, a 50-bed hospital for 30 primary health centers. It also recommended a 2,400-bed hospital and a medical college at each district headquarters. In addition, the committee emphasized on the need to create and run special programs against tuberculosis, malaria, cholera, and vector-borne diseases. The committee said that almost 15% of the government budget should be dedicated towards public healthcare programs. But unfortunately, even after 70 years of independence, the Bohr Committee recommendations are yet to be fully implemented. The public health expenditure in India, means the total center and state government expenditure, has remained constant at approximately 1.3% to 1.4% of the GDP. This is less than the world average of 6%. The average health expenditure of underdeveloped countries is near about 3% of the GDP, while most of the developed countries spend more than 6% of the GDP, and for the United States of America it is more than 15%. On major political action the government should implement, and the trade unions and the common public should demand, is that there should be immediately the launch of a truly universal public financed healthcare delivery system to cover the entire population, not only for COVID-19 patients but for all illness. And this is the slogan right now the Indian Public Service Employees Federation, the IPSEF, has taken up.